We're live, Sleepers Podcast. It's a Riley Wednesday, August 5th. And you are correct. Riley Davis is absolutely vacation mogging me right now. Look at the tan. Look at the hair. You can see the breeze blowing. And for those keeping track at home, this is Riley's third family vacation in 4 consecutive weeks. Riley, thank you for being here. How are you?
I'm doing great, Greg. This has been something that's been discussed with me and Dion. This has been discussed privately in our Sleepers group chat, but no one is better at making a big deal about when they work than me. Simultaneously, no one other than JK is as good as taking vacations with me. And when you put those two together, it just makes for a great mix. And I'm happy that everybody gets to enjoy this nice Carolina blue backdrop in honor of our Eels releasing some clips, putting up some practice footage. Just recorded a video on that. That'll be on the channel soon. But yeah, vibes are high. Vibes are high.
I mean, the sky looks absolutely gorgeous. You do have sun-kissed skin. You look like a man who's been on vacation for 3 of the last 4 weeks. The hair does look great. Barber went crazy. Also, show off the shirt. You got a little Emeka Egbuka graphic tee today. I love it. I mean, that's just, I would rock that on vacation. You're doing this well.
I appreciate that. Yeah, just I feel like it's fitting. I got to start to get into like NFL mode a little bit. I've been doing a little fantasy prep as well. So yeah, that's fitting. Yeah, I see. There have been some love for the background. Should I reveal the location or do I not want to dox myself?
Totally up to you.
I'm going to reveal the location. I'm at Bald Head Island. This is like one of my favorite places to flex when I'm at because you literally have to take a ferry to get to the island and people just drive around golf carts here. There are no cars on the island. It has a very bougie feel that I think it's fitting for the Bluffs moniker. And I did have a moment where I considered going full Karen to get a refund for the ferry ride on the way over here, but I chose not to. But I thought about it for the content that I could get.
Demanding a refund for your ferry ride. The Riley Davis story.
Can I tell you why?
Yeah, please.
They didn't get our luggage on the ferry that we drove over. We had to go back to the port to get the luggage 2 hours later.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I wouldn't have minded if we didn't have Theo, but it had his bed in it. We're trying to get him set up to go to sleep, all of that. So
how's Theo enjoying this? Do you worry that you're setting the bar expectations wise too high for your young son that like every summer all your family does is vacation?
100%, because he asked Natalie this time last week. He said, when are we going to pack up and go somewhere? You're in luck on Saturday.
Absolutely special. Well, I love it. And on a serious note, thank you for making time to do a Sleepers Day for us in the midst of all of this. The people love it. We love it. And we need you. It's like you're one of our aces. We want you in the rotation. And I don't know. A lot of people would just be like, no, I'm out. So tell your family thank you. We appreciate it. And we already got to talk North Carolina highlights this morning. That was fun. Let's take some chats. Hit us with chats for the next 20 minutes or so, and then we'll start to get into our segments. Good morning, Z-Mad. Great to see you here again. Looks like we've got, I don't know if I've seen this person in the chat. Shout out to Sean. Good morning from Lansing, from the hometown. Love that.
What's the difference between Lansing and East Lansing, G?
Well, East Lansing is just a little bit to the east, but it's the same city.
But like, what's the difference in the vibe? Population.
Lansing is where the Capitol building is. It's like quote unquote downtown Lansing. There's Lansing Lugnuts, the minor league baseball team, and then East Lansing is largely just the Michigan State campus. And then there's a bunch of surrounding smaller cities that break off of both East Lansing and Lansing.
Interesting. Never knew. Lansing is the capital of Michigan.
Lansing is the capital of Michigan. Yeah. There's a very, very nice Capitol building in downtown Lansing, actually.
You ever consider? No, never mind. We'll move on.
What was that question going to be?
If you ever consider storming it, just a little J6 humor.
No, I mean, yeah, you're feeling good on vacation this morning, man. That's crazy. The only Capitol I've ever stormed was in Madison, Wisconsin, when Cart and I stormed it on College Hoops to Go. Yeah. Let's talk. Come outside, fat boy. Scuba. Somehow Riley's the only one who ever gets these rants from me. Hey, I don't know that I've ever been more right on a grudge agenda than this. since it became clear that the Tigers were going to trade Fat Boy, and it became clear that the Dodgers were prioritizing acquiring Fat Boy, the best team in the history of baseball's 0-4 and looks completely lifeless. And the poor little Detroit Tigers, how will they survive, are 4-0, and every single hitter's inspired and seeing the ball for the first time in a calendar year. Dude, the Ewing theory, I don't know if it's real or not. But there's a legitimate vibe switch where the young bulls of the Detroit Tigers, with Max Clark called up and some of these other young pieces, they're not worried about losing this team. This is not like a hang our heads and fall apart. This is like a, you know what, let's show people. And the good old Dodgers need to find something here, man. It was a very Scooble-esque start. This guy went 6 1/3. Left a couple runners on and said, not for me. That's my bullpen's problem. Oh, look, 5 runs and you lose. I loved it. It was a great hate watch. And most importantly, it wasn't just Tigers fans with me. The entire world hates this dude now because dude found a microphone after he went to Hollywood and decided to say, yeah, I don't care about what any of the fans think. This guy is so out of touch. It's a sign of things to come. By the way, Sleeper's guy, our guy, was at Wrigley Field for this game. Our guy, who is a lifelong Los Angeles Dodgers fan, was at Wrigley Field for Scooble's first start in a Dodgers uniform. Poor guy. I felt bad for him, but I was praying on his downfall last night. Any thoughts, Riley?
Okay, so I need a little reminder of Tigers bullpen lore here. He came up with Max Clark. Who's the dude with the half sleeve who you're high on?
Max Clark is the dude he's got a full sleeve. You only see half, but yeah.
And you're a big fan of his, and he's like stepping up in his absence.
Max Clark is our young bull outfielder who
Gotcha.
Like 6 chains and full tattoo sleeves, and like big portions of America hate him, like Sleeve hates him. But he's great. We drafted him, I think, 2nd or 3rd overall out of high school, and people knocked the pick. And him and McGonigal are like our 2 young bulls who look like perennial all-stars who are now up together. We called Max Clark up the day we said we're trading Scooble.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's it was like a PR move by the franchise, but it's a PR move that led to Max Clark immediately being awesome and all of us being like, F you, Scooble, we don't even need you. We got our boy Melton, who, by the way, is having a year better than Scooble is, and no one's talking about it. I like where we're at, man. We're only a game and a half back right now.
So this is teaching me it's the dead of the summer in terms of sports. I might turn on some regular season baseball. We'll see. I usually lock in a little bit more for the playoffs. In terms of Tarek Skubal as a whole, I see why you have such a strong distaste for this guy. One of my favorite lasting memories from his whole saga, though, was just that full episode you and Carter did the day after the collapse when he checked himself out and you just did the Skubal smile.
My dog was giggling in the dugout of a playoff elimination game that we were losing.
Yeah, that's tough to come back from. And I think you being ahead of this is great for your brand, especially when there are haters out there that we have to acknowledge who may accuse you or us of being too negative. This is one of those instances where it was warranted, and you clearly, you're off to a good start here. One thing I do have to ask, though, to clarify with the Scooble lore, I know you've made comments about his weight.
Fat boy. Yeah.
I think on one of the full episodes last week, you said he gained 150 pounds since his major league debut.
170 pounds since his first game in a Tigers. Have you not seen the pictures of what he looked like when he came to Detroit?
What was his listed weight when he first debuted? Like 190?
You think Tarek Skubal's ever listed a weight? You're insane. Hold on. I'm going to show you a picture of his debut, and then I'm going to show you a picture of him now. And I want you to estimate how many pounds this man has gained. It's not a bit. It's like straight up not a bit. This dude showed up like a skinny high schooler, and he's now chubby to the point where like they took a video of him stretching, and it looked like he was doing a workout in the Wrigley Field outfield because it's hard for him to stretch, man. Mind you, he has injury issues. Mind you, he never throws 7 full innings. There's a million red flags here. Of course, we didn't want to give him $500 million. Hold on. I'm going to find the picture. Can you carry for a second? Do you want to take a few more chats?
Yeah, sorry. That was I had a brain lapse, and I yes. Let's see. Okay, we got we got Don saying Duke could crash into a tree. Love that energy. Okay, this one comes from Gavin. What are the odds that we can get G on the Boundaries train? I'm thinking plus 600 at minimum. Greg, have you ever listened to any like hardcore music?
What is the Boundaries?
Boundaries they are a metalcore / hardcore band who's sort of on the wave of the Gen Z renaissance of the genre.
No, I don't do metal. Sorry.
What are the chances you would at least give it a shot to see if you could be converted at this age of your life?
I mean, I'll give anything a shot, but I just promise you, like, I'm familiar with the metal genre. I don't like it. So I would listen to something, but I would likely come away being like, I didn't like that.
That's not for you.
Yeah, just not for me.
Let's see what else we got here. A lot of people talking about weather. A lot of people talking about their beat strips. We have Coop asking, is Scooby your biggest athlete op? You've had some good rants about other athletes too.
Off the top of my head, I'm trying to think of others. I mean, right now, yeah. The thing with Scoob, I felt this way while he was a Tiger. Like, people know this. Like, was I rooting for him? Like, yeah, of course. But the dude has always been like a non-competitive liar. So it's hard to watch a guy that talented try to lead your team while doing all these things you don't like. It makes it really easy to victory lap when things go wrong. And he joined the evil army. He belongs on the Dodgers, a team that I think will win a ring even if he's not on the roster. I'm sure he'll help him and he'll get a ring. But my problem with him more than anything, he tries to portray as if he wants to be this all-time great in Detroit. Even his outgoing statements were just like the emotion of it. It's like, just, you had a million ways to actually act on caring about that. You didn't. We don't need to hear how much you cared about the franchise when none of your actions in your time there embodied that. And I just sent you pictures, by the way. Can I get your rule? This is definitely a 100-pound change.
All right, let's see. So this is the debut with, oh, wow.
That's rookie Scooble. That's the guy we drafted.
Uh-huh.
I think he was like 170 pounds soaking wet.
Dog.
It's not an exaggeration. And it's not like he's muscular, Riley. Like, the guy's out of shape and always injured. It's crazy.
The jawline is really what's, dude, this man, I don't like to chin shame here, but the gullet my guy has developed over the years is impressive. So yeah, you might be looking at a 100-pound increase. I don't think that's too far off. If he went from like 170 to 270, he's listed at 240 per Wikipedia, and I could see him, you definitely want to list yourself a little bit lower than you actually are when you are built like that. So yeah.
Listen, I like where we're at, is all I'm saying. I still think we got a good rotation. We just called Job up. More importantly, our lineup's nasty. Get Zaire Hope up next year. I like where this is headed, and I'm a big vibes locker room guy. People know this. Vibes are high right now. Let's keep winning. Let's take more chats. Let's see. Sean's a beekeeper? That's crazy. We're infiltrating the bee industry, Riley.
Dude, have you ever known any beekeepers before?
No.
I knew one pretty well when I lived in Knoxville, Tennessee, a guy from the middle of the state, very rural town called Bledsoe. And it's a bit of a grind if you're actually going to beekeep. It's a lot more like weather dependent than you would expect. You have a bad storm roll through and all of a sudden you're like, beehives are done for. So shout out to you, Sean.
Riley coming out with beekeeper stats is insane. I didn't expect that. Jay Hart would be the one I would put that on, but no, I rock with key beepers more than I rock with beekeepers. Where I come from, we rock with the key beepers. Can we talk about Michigan's assistant coaches? Couple solid hires. I don't think there's anything to write home about here. They took an assistant coach from the Orlando Magic, who I believe is a great offensive mind. And then they took Brown's head coach, which I think hiring any head coach to come be an assistant is probably an objectively good hire, but I don't have too many notes on expectations for these guys.
Did anyone leave with Dusty other than it was Drew Williamson, right?
Michigan. Yeah, he took Drew. He took somebody else too. Oh, Modi Mayor, the new hire, the international guy, went with him.
Yeah. Oh, dang, that's kind of tough.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I thought Kyle Church would have gone. He stayed, which is good. And then Akeem Misteen stayed. I really like Akeem.
What were the vibes on Drew Williamson among the fan base?
Amazing coach.
Okay, I'm pretty sure he's from North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, this is obvious, but like everybody on the staff felt like they were overqualified for their role on the staff, including Justin Joyner, who's now the head coach at Oregon State. So it was always going to be a thing where you felt like you were losing assistants, even if Dusty stayed. And they kept it more intact than I thought they would when Dusty abandoned them. So can't be mad at it. Coy, speaking on behalf of Illini Nation here, we are fine. Do you want to give your quick thoughts on if Illinois is fine with Merck out 6 to 8 weeks?
Yeah, there's a full video. We probably went 20 minutes talking about who could step up this morning. And I really am most curious to see, like, if Merck misses real games, even if it's just by games, if you see Underwood sort of shift the style and go back to like the wing heavy system that we witnessed when it was like Domask and TSJ. I think you have the personnel to do that. I think you can sort of make up for the rebounding by committee. Hopefully, look this up. While we were doing that video, Stojakovic logged 2 games of double-digit rebounds last year. He had 1 during his second season in Cal. So at least you have some sort of proof of concept of him like getting on the glass. But I would assume he's going to be tasked with a bigger role in that department in his actual games. Long term, my only concern is just foot injuries can linger for bigs. And but it's still, I would say, like, if there's any time to have an injury, this isn't a bad time for it to occur just based on the recovery timeline.
Yeah, my only question, which I don't think I said on the other videos we've done on Merck here, is I'm a little confused why they didn't publicize the timeline here. Not to dispute the reporting, but like you would think if Goodman's intel is correct, which is also the intel we have heard from other people privately, 6 to 8 weeks, you would think Illinois wants to promote that. Like, hey, Merck is out, but it's 6 to 8 weeks is the expected timeline. That would give everybody a big breath of fresh air. That's not how Illinois chose to PR this. They chose to keep this very mysterious, which is a little ominous to me. Now, maybe that's just we didn't know for sure what the injury was and more is coming out now. But if the reported timeline here is right, that he suffered it at July 31st, they've had 5 days to figure out what the injury is. So just Illinois does PR really well normally. I don't think they make mistakes with that stuff. And it's confusing to me why, when they announced it, they kept so much uncertain, because it let everybody freak out. Everybody on the Illinois side of things is like, is he out for the year? What is this? Seems like they know he's not out for the year, and yet Illinois doesn't want to define the timeline. So I think that's probably not the greatest sign. But beyond that, if the injury really is just a stress fracture and surgery's already gone well, I think Merck's going to be fine. And I think this team will probably, in the long run, not feel any different than they were going to prior to this happening. But we'll see. Some love here. Thank you, stand up, man. Appreciate that. Do you, is that a name that North Carolina deals with a lot, Riley?
I would say it's like one of the, it's not, they're more like creative insults you could come up with in Tar Holes. I just think it sounds kind of goofy. It reminds me of when like UNC fans spell Duke Dook, where it's just like, it's just kind of dumb. There's better insults you can come up with for your rival.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I like creativity when it comes to insults in the rivalries.
I kind of thought Tar Holes was pretty creative, to be honest. I might steal that. Go Cubs, go. T. Steffi. Let's see. Bucky says he's near you. You want to go link up with Bucky?
Yeah, let's go, Bucky. I'll see if I can hook you up with a ferry ride. Maybe I can get yours refunded since I wasn't able to do it for mine.
I like that. Can you guess the 3 Power 5 college cities with a cardinal direction in them?
East Lansing, West Lafayette.
Are there only 3 of these, really? East Rutherford?
What's in East Rutherford?
Is that Rutgers, or am I making that up?
I thought Rutgers was Piscataway.
Oh, it is Piscataway.
Huh. This is gonna bother me. South. Yeah.
I don't know. Let us know, Panda Express. That's a good trivia question. Let's see. I missed this. I didn't know he made a comment about how electric the crowd was. But I mean, it is Wrigley Field at night. Like that was probably the most watched baseball game of the year for casual fans too. Like I bet it was a pretty electric environment. Ooh, yeah, I like this comp. I think they're similar in terms of how they field the position out in center, but PCA would be obviously an amazing outcome. Max Clark has a long way to go to get there.
Who is PCA?
You don't know PCA?
Let me Pete Crow Armstrong, apparently.
Do we want to let the chat let him know who PCA is? He's a Chicago Cubs superstar center fielder, young bull.
Gotcha. All right. Wow, 24 years old. All right, I got you. From Harvard Westlake too. Shout out to Guy. His next.
Yeah.
Also,
he doesn't believe Babe Ruth was a real person.
Okay, I might be in on PCA already.
I'm surprised no one's brought that up. He got a lot of shit for it. I was like, okay, I'm a PCA guy. Fine. I love that take. It's great. Indiana Purdue, best of 7 series. I assume this is home and home. Who wins in how many games? Who gets home court advantage here?
I think Purdue definitely deserves home court advantage. If we're gonna like tier this based on last year, or you could even go back like 5 years, I think Purdue deserves it.
Let's say it goes Mackey, Assembly, Mackey, 2-3-2. Who wins in how many games?
IU in 7.
In 7?
I think it goes 7. I think eventually, if it was just best of 3, I think Paint can outcoach DeVries pretty easily. I think if you extend the series, I'm going to say that talent eventually rises to the top, and I think IU has more of it this year.
I hate that the chat coerced this out of me because I think I'm going to reveal some things here that I don't want to reveal. But my honest answer, if it was 2 in Mackey, then 3 in Assembly, then 2 in Mackey, is it doesn't get back to Mackey. I think Indiana in 5.
Hold on. Say that one more time.
If it's 2 in Mackey, then like a 2-3-2, the next 3 are in Assembly, and then 2 in Mackey. I don't think it goes back to Mackey. I think it's Indiana in 5. I think IU would get one of the 2 in Mackey, and then I mean, let's say they played it right now. That's different than playing it in March, where some of these young Purdue pieces develop. If it was played right now, I don't think Purdue beats Indiana in Assembly.
I don't hate that argument. I would even take it a step further and say Purdue's freshmen need development. The new pieces need to get their feet under them. Indiana's freshmen look really good, conversely.
The thing, like from what I saw from Moody and
Carvalho's nasty, dude.
Those guys are just like Moody doesn't look far off Antoine West. Carvalho looks better than any Purdue wing right now, and then you have like the proven commodity of Sherrell plus a 7-footer plus Sam Alexis. Like that's 3 guys who I think you at least say is the most physical big on Purdue. So I don't know. I'm trying not to get duped again because like. Lord knows I've fallen for this before. I said Indiana was going to win the league by multiple games a couple of years ago, and Mike Woodson's team was terrible. I don't think those concerns still apply to DeVries, but it's a prove-it year for him, and it's definitely true that Purdue will be better in March than they are right now. But if it was played right now, that's my answer, Indiana in 5. What else do we have from the chat here? Congrats, Josh. Moneyline hit. Got to love that. Bryce Harper level prospect. I don't know if I go that far, but I love it. I love where the vibes are right now. Just had to admit I was right in the CBS YouTube comment sections. Cart and Greg couldn't resist the videos made. So E to the F and D. I've seen you in the YouTube comments quite a bit. I've seen you on other people's YouTube comments saying Sleepers is going to do this. And then I've seen you in our comments being like, I called it, Sleepers is going to do this. I got to be honest, maybe I'm being overly sensitive to our spot in the media game right now, but I thought you were throwing shade. I thought you were like calling us out almost of like this is classic stupid Sleepers. I hope I'm reading that wrong and you're actually like showing some love, but I've been confused on your play here, E to the F and D.
What is he referring to?
Just like Rothstein's interview with Izzo. He was like commenting all over it. Like Sleepers is going to do 7 videos on this. Gotcha. And then we did one last night and he was like, see, I told you, which to me is like not a nice thing, but maybe this is a nice, I don't know.
Now he's saying it's a shout out, which I associate with positivity.
Yeah. So maybe Thank you. I guess. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this. Ooh, Bryce, currently getting a cavity filled? Is there a dentist listening to us right now?
I didn't put. Okay, he probably has the AirPods in.
Oh, wait, is AirPods during a filling? Isn't that a psychopath move?
A little bit, yeah. I always operate it like it builds character if you're just forced to watch the little TV above you.
Yeah.
Does your dentist have that where they have the TV like on the ceiling for your entertainment to watch something on Tubi? Yeah. It's a character building exercise while you get your teeth.
Would be a power move to like sit down in the dentist chair and be like, yo, can you put Sleepers Media on YouTube for the next hour? That'd be great. Side note, Murph's at the dentist for the first time in her life right now. Mal just sent me a picture. It's just crazy to me. Like, she looks like she's like 17 sitting in a dentist chair, like knowing what to do. Crazy time.
I hope she comes home with a fun like toy from the dentist.
That'd be nice,
like a sticky hand or something. Make sure Murph gets taken care of.
I'm assuming multiple stickers will come home at minimum. Gav, the answer is none. I could not name you a metal band, but I also can't name you a time I've heard a metal song and been like, I want more of this.
All right, I'll send you some recs off air.
I don't want this. I feel like that's a like, aren't there just certain things in life I know you don't partake in that like it would be, off color for me to send you recommendations of?
A little bit, but okay. So take this, like, it's a long-standing fact that like when we did the 3-man episodes of Me, You, and Cart, anytime golf chatter took center stage, my eyes glazed over. But if there was like golf content out there that you were like, oh, I think Riley would enjoy this, I would give it a chance.
Yeah, I don't think I'm sending you like links to drivers and being like, oh, you'd love this. Like, I think I'm just accepting you don't like it,
Probably a fair point.
But I'm willing. I am willing. I think my confidence level is the absolute max it could be that I will hate it.
I think I can make like a progressive metal playlist that starts with something like a little bit lighter and gradually gets heavier. And by the end of it, you're like, okay, I can mess with all of this.
It would be quite an accomplishment for you if you got me into metal music, but I'll give it a chance. I'll give anything Riley Davis tells me to a chance. That's for sure. By the way, even just the mention of a 3-man episode, we do need to do a good old fashioned Riley Friday again.
It has been fresh in the memory. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It has been at the forefront of my mind that we need to prioritize this soon.
Yeah.
Whether it's Me, You, and Carter, Me, You, and Dion.
Agreed. All right. Couple more quick ones. Bucky says, what do you think of Fens?
Okay. So eventually I'm sure we'll do like a video on this. I think it's trending toward him committing to UNC. When I saw that UNC was targeting him, I didn't really get the pull to take him immediately and not see how Micah Hand-Lockton and Duke Brennan play out. I would bet there are teams out there more desperate for a center than Carolina is right now who are going to outbid us for either of those two guys. And if this is the case a year or two from now, I'd be a little bit more annoyed. Simultaneously, in year one of Malone, I think Carolina spent pretty heavily on this roster, and I'm willing to give like the boosters the benefit of the doubt here that they funded enough to make a good roster. And if they need a little like, all right, show me something, like show me what you can do with what I've already given you, and then you'll get like an even higher pay increase for year two. I could see that being a fine strategy. But with Fens himself, the more I've watched him, I question like his mobility and his fluidity. I don't know, like he just kind of moves slowly. However, he is strong around the basket. He's a good rebounder. And I know like, I think there are some NBA people who are like somewhat believers in Fens too. So maybe there's a world where like Malone gets the best version of him and he can play like 20 minutes a game or something. But I would say I'd expect like somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 15. If he can be like 80% of Oscar Clough, if you want to go with like another Summit League transfer.
That's a lot. 80% of Clough for Cameron Fens? Aren't those guys in totally different tiers as players?
Maybe.
Like we came out of last offseason calling Clough the best big in the portal, and I don't think it came to fruition necessarily. But yeah. I just think to me, I'm not viewing them anywhere near each other caliber wise.
So I get the what's the word I'm looking for? I get the skepticism around Fens for sure, and I would say I share some myself. I would say, like, I'm happy that, like, there's a decent amount of Summit League guys who have translated when they moved up a level, though.
Yeah.
Whether you're looking at, like, of course, there's the South Dakota State guys like Clough, like Zeke Mayo, like Baylor Shireman, but even, Grant Nelson came in from North Dakota State. What's his name? Jakari White was at North Dakota State as well. So, like, they've had some dudes who have Marquel Sutton for LSU this past year was really good. He started at Omaha. Like, Frankie Fiddler was decent. There are guys who have made that leap and been competent power conference rotation pieces. And I think that's probably what, at least ideally, what Fins will be.
Yeah, there's too much unknown with North Carolina's front court for me to even comment on this. My only inputs here, I don't think Fins is a very good player. I don't think he's a high major player. I think any team that is sort of scrambling to get Fins has serious problems here. I still think in an ideal world, North Carolina isn't planning on a guy like that playing, even if they get him. My question, which I think I know the answer to, why wouldn't Carolina be all over Kohler right now? Is it just money?
I think it is money. Yeah.
Who do you spend on? How is Carolina out of money?
They spent big on that perimeter trio. They spent big on Sion Kada, and I think they spent relatively big on Samadurov.
So there's a lot of sunk costs on bigs that aren't here right now is the answer to that.
Not here yet, yeah. One who's not here yet, one who's not cleared, but it'll be fine.
Okay. I mean, that's it. The whole thing just hinges on those guys, and it's impossible to know what or when you're getting either one of them. But yeah, we did a video on that this morning from practice stuff. You can hear my full thoughts there. So we'll see. Okay. Is Mike Malone not capable of fundraising?
So I think they were like straight up out of money, and they fundraised more. They fundraised enough to offer Han Lockton and Brennan, but both those guys wanted more. And I think Cameron Fins will probably take the offer.
Okay, I guess I'm not understanding why Mike Malone at North Carolina couldn't find someone who would pay for Jackson Kohler given the state of this front court.
I would guess it's probably because I don't know, man.
If that's not something that's in his bag, I think I'm a little like, huh?
I think he has done some fundraising, though. I just don't know.
He can't fundraise enough for Micah Handlockton right now. At North Carolina, when your practices don't have a center?
I guess not.
That's terrifying to me.
I don't know if it is. I think Handlockton's going to get a big payday. And they might have thought, like, hey, if we can pay less money for Cameron.
How big of a payday? I don't think anybody's paying multiple million for any of these guys right now.
I think there's been an influx of money coming in from a lot of these schools that like just either had leftover budget or had some sort of donor who was ready to.
Where's Handlockton about to go?
I think there's been rumors that he's trending toward Kansas.
Okay. I mean, Kansas was saying they don't have enough money for Kohler, and I don't think Kohler's a financially driven recruitment right now. I think BYU's offer is pretty small, and they're one of the teams trying to get people for pay. The rumor was Cade Tyson's back to Minnesota for like $1.5 million. So
maybe I'm just coping, and we weren't able to fundraise even $1 million to get Handlockton.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like the current North Carolina roster is like a top 10 budgeted roster. So I think that's one of those ones for me where like if you actually are running into money issues when you don't even have a big man available, that's a little bit of like, why can't Malone? Like there's a lot of money from North Carolina fans, I would think, but yeah, I don't know. We'll come back to it. We got to evaluate Malone on year 2, I think, not year 1, regardless of what happens. A couple more quick ones, then we got to go. Can you grow a beard? They want to know what it would take for you to grow a beard.
I've grown one out before. You've seen a picture, lest you forget. You said I looked better without a beard, and I agree.
Oh, I have not forgotten the picture.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, something about. I mean, you have like cute dimples, and like I don't know, like I think you're good at like the 5 o'clock shadow. Like honestly, right now is like your perfect amount of facial hair.
I agree. I shave every morning, and by like mid-morning, it starts to grow a little bit. And I think that's when it does look the best.
Yeah, I mean, underrated part of like growing a beard is like if you have a lot of cheek fat, then you need to grow the beard. That's why you won't see me without a beard again. It was a mistake at the Final Four when I won a national championship. Riley Davis is way too chiseled in the cheeks to waste that on facial hair. You know,
appreciate that. But the second I start losing my hair, I will go chrome dome and grow a beard with it. So
respect. Very nice. Okay. I think it's time to go to segments.
All right. I agree. I am going to give some love to Panda Express, who said South Bend was the one we weren't able to come up with. That's bad on us. We should have been able to get that.
That is really bad. How do we forget that?
So anyway, all right. Are you ready to get into some topics?
Please. Yes.
Okay. So today's first segment is a throwback to last week, a topic you and Dion did not get to. This one is called Doing Things Differently. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna change the title on the fly. This is a new segment I like to call We Like to Do Things a Little Different Around Here. Okay. And we are going to look at some of our favorite teams and analyze this past offseason and hypothesize what they could have done differently to put themselves in a better position.
Okay. One question from me. Do we have to give honest, hard answers, even if teams are in really good positions?
I think we should. Yeah.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
All right. We're going to start not with Purdue or Illinois, but your school, Greg. We're going to start with Michigan. What would Michigan have done differently if they could do it again?
Are we allowed to just say somehow keep Dusty, or do we have to keep it roster specific?
I think you have to go with the premise that Dusty was still going to leave, but all other bets are off. You can go any direction beyond that.
It's hard because I'm pretty happy with the rosters. I think the big mistake for me would have been whatever they botched with Juke Harris. I think not only did they not get Juke Harris, and they thought they did, they thought they got a verbal commitment at the parade, but I think they also wasted time on Juke that would have allowed them to move to a different big fish. Now, they rebounded really nicely with Chom. That was sort of the save the season answer after Juke Harris was gone. But the original plan was to have the unquestioned best backcourt in college basketball, throw a bunch of money at it and figure it out. And had they not spent 2.5 weeks waiting for that to happen, I do wonder, was there a world where they moved in on Flory Badunga or somebody different,
Mm-hmm. So how much separation? I would ask, how much separation do you see between Chom and Badunga, though?
A lot. And I like Chom, but yeah.
I would say not that much. I think Flory is really good, but Flory certainly has his flaws. And I think Chom offering some better size would translate a little bit better, help you more in the Big Ten than Badunga would. But I get where you're coming from. I think the direction that I would want to go with this regarding, I would say Juke is indicative of a greater need on the perimeter than I think Michigan satisfied in terms of their needs. And I would say, even as I look at this roster now, I know that's something you and I have gone back and forth with, where I've said, who's producing off the bench outside of Quinn Costello? The first thing that went to my mind, assuming Dusty was going to leave regardless, was almost finding someone who could be in that LJ Kaysen role without pissing LJ Kaysen off when he got back. And maybe that would have been a tough line to walk, but was there any guards who would have had ties to Michigan that you could have gone for early on? Or was there any rumors? I know, what was the dude from Cal Poly who y'all are in on for a little bit, but
Hamad Musa, who went back to Cal Poly.
Maybe that
seemed like something was up there a little bit. My take, Juke was really good. I think they thought Juke was a Yaxel level talent, which I wouldn't have agreed with anyway, but I think they thought he was the best player available. So let's go in on best player available. To me, in that world, they still thought that Kaysen and McCoy were on this team too. It's a lot of money spent on guards, man.
Yeah.
I would have rather right away been you know what, let's get David Punch. How different does that look? And instead they were all in on Juke and it failed.
I think Punch might be the answer I'm going with, to just whatever you offer to Juke, offer to Punch and lock him up, because with Dusty or no Dusty, I think that's the guy who's closest to Yaxel in terms of skill set in this portal class.
Yeah, I think I agree.
Let's move to Carter's team and talk Michigan State. What would they have done differently?
Get a better center than Bonk, which I think they tried to. I mean, they were in on Sherelle, and I think I don't know. I think there was always a belief that they could pitch hometown title over money with Sherelle, and they probably wasted their time there. But it's always hard, man. I don't understand why Michigan State operates at a discount. They went into those recruitments being we got to get somebody for cheap. And it seems like that's an Izzo thing. It's not that there isn't funds available. So I don't know the better player they could have gotten for cheap is my point.
Akil mentioned Santos Surreal. He's someone who I think has kind of been an afterthought with this portal class. Like he would have been an awesome fit next to Fears, but I know Surreal got a big payday from Miami.
It's the thing. Any of the bigs you would replace Sherelle with all got paid more than Izzo wanted to pay, I think. So I don't know.
Aside from the big, which is like paying up for Sherelle or Surreal, I was thinking of like any wings they could have gone for that would have made like projecting a jump from Jordan Scott or assuming Jervis is going to be good to go for big minutes from the jump. Like if there was a more sure thing they could have gotten that would have fit Izzo's MO on the perimeter.
I don't think so. My 2 cents there would just be that Izzo loves these wings, and between Carr, Glenn, Scott, Ward, he's got 4 guys that he wants to play enormous minutes this year. So, yeah, I think really the only thing that team is looking back on right now is the 5 spot good enough.
Mm-hmm. I think Ishram asked a good question. How much factor is Bonk when factoring in Ethan Taylor? Like, do you want to? I'm assuming they like either made promises or paid a decent price tag for Taylor to where maybe you bring Bonk in because he's a little more complimentary, or it's easier to sell this as like, Bonk is a placeholder until Taylor's ready. Like that's easier to pull off than Sherelle. But I guess my pushback to that would be like some of the best programs right now are getting these freshmen to buy into smaller roles, with the trade-off being like your time will come at some point this season, or if you're good enough, we'll still showcase you for the NBA, or maybe you're back for year 2 as a centerpiece. Maybe that could have been a possibility if you brought Sherelle in still with Taylor, but what's your take on that?
I like Taylor. I think he's looked better this summer than expected. I think Izzo said that to Rothstein too. He was like, he's further along than I thought he would be based on what I watched in his senior year. That's good. I think the concern, like, could Taylor be a star by March? Maybe. I think that's the version of Michigan State that wins a national championship. I'm a guy that says this is going to win the Big Ten. I believe that when Merck was healthy. I still believe Michigan State was the team to beat. Yeah. With that said, I will point this out as Izzo is starting to reveal his plan. Izzo says Cam Ward's going to start at the 4. It seems like everyone involved says Bonk is going to start at the 5, and the expectation for Bonk is that he will have a Zappala-like year. Is a starting front court of Cam Ward and Shimon Zappala Final Four worthy?
Hold on. I don't mean to derail this. Are we sure? Shimon Zappala.
That's what the expectation from behind the scenes is right now. They're saying, hey, Bonk he's going to be Zappala-esque. And look, Zappala was the starting center on a team that won the Big Ten by 3 games.
But Zappala played 4 minutes a game, and I've been sticking my neck out for Anton Bonk, saying he's going to be a top 25 pick because of Jeremy Fears.
Yeah, no one behind the scenes expects that based on what they've seen this summer.
All right, Tom. If my guy Anton is Zappala 2.0, we're gonna have a conversation. But let's move on.
I'm picking him to win the league, and I'm trying to wrap my brain around Cohen Carr, Cam Ward, Shimon Zappala 2.0 being the team that runs away with this. I'm kind of like, I don't know about this, but
I'm really disappointed right now. But let's
Carter is in the chat, by the way. Moving on from Jesse McCulloch for an upgrade. The upgrade there, I think, would have been Kohler. Get the 5th year and let McCulloch be pissed off and leave. But I don't know. Do you lose Cam Ward too, who they're really high on? I don't know.
I would trade Cam Ward for Jackson Kohler without thinking twice.
Yeah, me too.
And there's no one in this front court who I would keep around if it meant I could get Kohler back, honestly.
For sure.
All right, let's talk Purdue.
And it's so hard to say something with a program that was just like not interested in being active, Like Paint made it very clear. We love our freshmen. We're going the developmental route. We just want to bring everybody back. I mean, my answer, I would have done a lot different. I wouldn't have wanted to bring everybody back. I would have wanted multiple impact ads from the portal, probably get like a proven all conference level guard instead of lean into these 5 youthful players. And I think, I don't know, I might have seen enough last year to say I'm good on the Omer experiment and replaced him with somebody. But I think the realistic answer has to be the front court, though. Like if they decided that they needed an Enzo level player, decide that earlier and get one from the portal in April. Don't wait until summer to get a French guy that's 6'7".
Yeah, mine went to the front court. Like it worked out. It largely worked out bringing in Club. Just do that again. Like give Jacobson didn't show you enough to warrant like a 20, 25 minute per game promise. That's my main gripe. You can still have another year where you could like work him in. Cart says get Isaiah Hill to reclass. Yeah, I think that would be helpful. What about Illinois? Anything you would have had them do differently?
Also, Jay Banklet's calling you out here. Just saying. But
we'll get to it. You got to know your audience when you're hosting these things, Jay Banks. Don't worry.
If I'm Illinois, man, they had a great offseason. I don't think I would have wanted both of Visic's back.
I think I would have wanted either someone who was defensive minded at the point of attack or another defensive minded big. Those are just someone you can bring in for a change of pace. I know Coleman will guard the point of attack, but someone a little more seasoned than him.
Yeah, I think if I'm Illinois and I watched what Michigan did in Champaign, there's no way I'm coming back with that same front court again. I would cut bait on one of the Ivisiches and try to get a physical big.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to put it. Let's go with my team, with Carolina. This one seems pretty obvious to me. I just said operate from the beginning like Vasar was gone.
Yeah. I don't know.
I would have said go after Sherrill, go after Santos Cyril, go after – those are kind of the only two big-name bigs who transferred, if I'm not mistaken.
Wasn't Sherrill rumored too?
Sherrill had some talks early on with Malone. Yeah. I think they probably could have gotten in there and got it done if they just offered him what they were going to offer Sherrill. Or excuse me, what they offered Vasar.
I mean, you're not going to like this, but with all due respect, Charnowski would be like huge for you guys.
Yeah, I'm not really a Charnowski believer. I would go with a different Duke big. I would say prioritize Boomshay over Keita. It was like
you think Cameron Fens is 80% Oscar Clough and you're not a Charnowski believer?
No.
Man.
Dude, Charnowski, for what Duke is going to need out of him in the Malik Brown role, I have some question marks. When I watched Drew Charnowski move, it reminds me of when my high school football coach told me I had to be a linebacker instead of a defensive back when he saw me like in some backpedaling drills.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what I would compare it to. I would say prioritize Boomshay over Keita because I think UNC went hard after Keita first and was like, oh, well, since we're getting one Barcelona prospect, let's try to lock down Boomshay as well. You might have picked the wrong one. And Boomshay's in the States already.
What do you think of Cart here?
That's actually not a bad take. I think maybe you probably have to go. Like if I were to exchange one, I think you could like someone like Deshae Montgomery, the Dayton transfer who's at Louisville right now, I think would have fit really nicely alongside one of TB or Neo. And I think you probably could have gotten him instead of like spending big on both those guys.
I think I agree with that. Coda, I just have one quick question for you. Would you take over or under the number of Hubert Davis national title appearances for Mike Malone in his North Carolina tenure? I think I'd bet the under.
You bet that he doesn't get to a title game?
I would bet that Mike Malone makes less national championships at North Carolina than Hubert Davis did. Now, everything else might go better, but...
How many years do you think Malone will be there?
I don't know.
If he's there 10 years, I would say, yeah, he's going to make a title game. If he's there 5, I understand the skepticism.
Is it just automatic in your mind that Carolina makes a title game every 10 years?
Yeah, pretty much. It's largely worked out my entire life.
We could let Sleeve coach and he would get there.
Maybe.
Listen, man, Mike, I understand. If I'm a Carolina fan, I would want to feel this way too. He has built the projected 44th best team in college basketball this year. I know y'all would have killed Hubert for that. Seems like people are real excited about Mike Malone.
All right. Can we move on to another team?
I'm just saying. These aren't my numbers. These are smart people's analytics.
Yeah, but Bart doesn't even have Bart Torvik doesn't even have Samudurov on the roster yet.
Yeah, because he's not there. Correct.
But
Right.
Torvik has said his international player like how the model views international players isn't accurate. So you take it with a grain of salt.
You said you can't afford a center because you spent too much on two bigs who haven't even been eligible to play.
But they will be eligible in the next few weeks.
Then that's why we're scrambling for Cameron Fens?
I think it's nice to have a little extra insurance to give yourself a little beef in the post.
Got it.
Let's move. Also, Stan, I have no problem admitting when I think a Duke player is really good. I've said this on videos we've done this offseason. Last year in like January or February, I was the first on the channel to say, hey, Caleb Foster is actually a proper hooper. This dude hits big shots and he defends and he's valuable. I will criticize guys who I think are worth criticizing. Listen,
hand up, Heisenberg meme here. You got me. I'm happy about my national championship. Wow. Good call, Coda.
All right, let's hit what Duke and BYU and UConn would have done differently, and then we got to move to the next topic.
I think we got to just end the show in a minute. So let's just do the teams you want to do. I'm sorry, Riley.
It's okay. I just was really excited about my next topic, but you can use it for tomorrow's show.
I love you. Do you want to tease it? Do you want to give like a speed run of it?
Okay, so tomorrow, whoever's on, I was going to have superlatives for Borzello's latest top 25.
That's fun.
Yeah, so like one team too low, one team too high, a team outside the top 10 most likely to make the Final Four, a team inside the top 10 most likely to be unranked by New Year's. So
this just a little birdie said this. Cart's looking for someone to do the full episode with him tomorrow. You could come do an hour with Cart tomorrow and nothing else.
Okay, I might have to do that. I will talk to my agent, aka Natalie.
I like that plan. I think that's a good plan. All right, who else are we doing before we wrap this?
Let's get a little critical of Duke and say what they could have done differently.
Okay.
Can I get ahead of this? In my notes, I just put a sad face because I don't really think there is anything they could have done differently. But let's workshop what they could have done differently.
I have a real one on this. I think if they don't win a national championship, it's because point guard play isn't good enough. Now they have a million different options, and it does sound stupid to be like the number 2 point guard in the class, Duran Rippey, isn't good enough. But I remember doing a video with J-Man when the season ended where J-Man was like, oh, we're not going to bring both Caden and Caleb back. And then suddenly somewhere along the way, it went from like, that wouldn't be good to that's amazing. I do think there's a world where both of those spots together feel like a waste of time. Caleb Foster has kind of shown us who he is right now. He's just a role player. I'm not really expecting a star national title worthy turn from him. And I don't think Caden Boozer was all that inspiring last year. I probably would have rather moved on from both of those, let alone one of them, and brought in a legitimate veteran star point guard to pair with Blackwell to think this team is unbeatable.
That's a pretty good take. Can I give you like a crazy spin zone? You should have prepped for 5 and 5 and try to bring in Nick Boyd and paired Boyd and Blackwell together.
I mean, man, that's like that actually would have been doable. And then you have Rippey off the bench, and we're not talking about, like, in my opinion, a bunch of mediocre guards all splitting minutes. Like, this front court is absolutely one of the best ever. There's no way to knock it. But I think we'll look back on like 40 minutes of point guard being iffy if this team isn't awesome.
Can I get really crazy and say kick Gongba to the curb and bring in Aiden Sherrill? Because they were linked to Sherrill for a little bit.
That's a little crazy.
Do you like Badunga or Gongba better?
Badunga. I think Flory's the best center in the country.
Okay. I think because Duke was linked early to Badunga as well. Sorry, I keep alternating between Badunga and Badunga. I think it is Badunga. But
yeah, I'm higher on Flory than essentially anyone that I've heard. I think he's the best player in the portal and a first-team All-American. So yeah, my answer would always be Flory over any other center. But like, I don't know. I'm not even a huge Pat Gungaba guy. I think he might be better than Sherrill. So I probably wouldn't have made that move. But we're nitpicking, man. Duke's so good.
I think Sherrill's a little bit more versatile offensively. But anyway,
yeah,
we can move on and do BYU.
Center has to be, right?
I said hire an Italian coach to lock down Luigi Swigo.
So, yeah, that's fun. That would have been nice. So it seems to me BYU's problem is they haven't had the money for anybody they thought they would be able to convince. I don't think Kevin Young, like, messed up trying to get a center. I think he messed up thinking someone would play at a discount. So to me, like, why do they not have the money? There's only two answers. It's either they overpaid Colin Chandler or they overpaid Rob Wright. Now, Rob Wright is the preseason Big 12 Player of the Year, according to John Rothstein. So this sounds kind of stupid to say let him go. But is there a world where they let Rob Wright go to Kentucky and then they could actually pay for a complete roster instead of like Rob Wright and nothing else?
I guess that I get like, okay, so let's play like dominoes here where Rob Wright goes to Kentucky, BYU pivots and like steals Leroy Blyden from Kansas, and then they get Luigi Swigo or something.
Yeah, or even like, I mean, maybe Zoom ends up at BYU for less money than Rob Wright, and then you actually had the money to pay a good center, and that team feels better than a team with Rob Wright and nothing.
I think I would want a shooting threat there just because I don't know if I buy the jumper from Bruce Branch.
Yeah.
So that's why like Zoom would be a little awkward. But if you could have found like, I would like Alex Wilkins. I'd be pretty enticed by Alex Wilkins at BYU alongside someone like Bruce Branch and Colin Chandler with a Swigo type at the 5.
Yeah, I agree. I like that.
All right, last one we'll do is UConn.
Ooh, I've loved everything Hurley's done.
I did too. Maybe aim higher than Hermania for your starting 4, but
it's the only thing, and it's super nitpicky because even if you're not a Hermania guy, just putting Shire in a body bag after his team too is like such an awesome move. So I kind of loved that, even though I didn't love it, you know?
Okay. I know Hurley loves Jaden Ross. Maybe if there's a UConn fan in the chat that would let us know why Hurley loves him so much. I would prefer for Colbin Landry to take his minutes, but even that, it's like you don't really need to do anything different. You just let Colbin Landry rock.
I got one. I think they could have and should have found a way to keep Ryba. Now, Ryba just got hurt, so it wouldn't have mattered. But assuming he was healthy, I don't know if it stops you from getting Najai Hines.
Yep.
But if you could have had Hines and Ryba with Ryba as the projected breakout star, I think that feels way more solid than what they have in the front court.
I like that. I certainly would prefer Ryba over Oscar Gilte. What I would say for Dan Hurley, dude, just lie. Tell Najai Hines and Ryba you're going to play them together.
Right.
Point to Michigan. Be like, oh, we thought they had too many centers last year and it worked. We'll play you together, and then not play them together.
Just lie, please. You can always fix everything by lying.
Well, I would also say, like, if you have the two of them together, you have a great shot to get back to the Final Four again. And people aren't going to be – if you're going to back-to-back Final Fours, you're probably going to be happy regardless.
Yeah, I agree. I'm right there with you. All right, that was fun. Great segment. Sorry we didn't get to your other segments. Quickly, shout out to the love here. Eddie said we're family first. We definitely try to be family first. Riley Davis is maybe the most family first person I've ever met in my life. Love that. And shout out to E. We do college basketball content all year long. We love it. Thank you for loving us. One big thing presented by Bald Head Island. What do you have?
An update on my crown saga from last week, which shout out to Bryce. Hopefully you're still getting your cavity filled right now. Found out I grind my teeth. Since then, I have noticed how often I like clench my teeth like this, and it's a real problem. I'm gonna have to get a night guard for when I sleep, unfortunately, which is you can't get it customized. It's like a mouth guard that keeps you from grinding. But I got the temporary crown on right now. I go back in 2 weeks to get the real thing. Took some getting used to. You feel like there's like a slab of cement on your back molar, but you know we're still persevering. But just let this be a PSA for everyone out there. Prioritize your teeth health.
Love that. That's what my daughter's doing right now with her first ever dentist appointment. My one big thing bit with you is always that I rap, but I forgot to write a rap this time. So I have a work in progress rap that I hate that I guess I'm contractually obligated to read. There's only 6 bars here and they abruptly stop where they shouldn't. And there's only one line out of these 6 that I even like, but here goes nothing. The praise is louder than the criticism. The cinematics more explosive than the cynicism. My ecosystem was economically masochism. I had to separate entirely the dentist system. The boys risen, the noise isn't diminishing. Ahoy, bitches, a boy's trip to Dominican. That's all I got.
Great start. Next week, when we're back on this, I need the full 24 bars.
I mean, are you that the boys risen, the noise isn't diminishing? Ahoy
pretty good.
is a boys' trip to Dominican. That's the only thing I liked about that. But all right, that's the show. Like 20 more me and Riley videos coming out in the next 2 hours. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.